Okay, so this video is dedicated to Fours.fm. I absolutely love their plugins. Now, I've talked in the past about some of them. I'm not going to spend too much time on those today. The Opal, OPAL, is like sort of like the Digitac, but it's the plug-in version. In fact, I think Fours, the main dev for them or whatever, worked for Elektron at some point, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, check that video out that I have about Fours Opal if you want to do that one. So there's some other plugins they came out with. Cheryl, I think it's Cheryl. It's either Cheryl or Cheryl. Either way, I use that plugin quite a bit. I'll show you what it looks like just so you know. And they also have some free ones too. So let me pull up the first one. Now I have a randomizer on mine because I put it that way, but I want to show it to you what it looks like. Oops, that's not it. I actually have to get it out of the folder here. Let me see, where did I put it? Interesting, did I delete it for some reason? I'll show you that one a little later because I think I might have accidentally deleted it by mistake, which is weird. It should be in my Max for Live. Hold on, let me see. Max for Live, where are you? I know I have it. I just have to put it. Maybe I accidentally deleted it by mistake. Anyway, it's one of my favorites. Let's go back to the ones I do have, and I'll show you what some of their stuff is. Just kind of introduce you. So I'll show you this one again. Opal looks like this, and there's 5 machines in the one. Each one has a different that does something different. Give me a second to load. There it is. And I've shown you guys this machine before. They have a randomizer for each one where you can adjust sounds, surprise me, of course. And here's their 5 machines. They tell you the names right here, by the way. It's Gem, Mass, Dust. There's an empty one where you can do your own sample in there. And then there's a reverb called Void. And that's the reverb. So anyway, that's Opal. So I love Opal. They also give, when you buy Opal, you get them, each one of these individual too. So you could have your, use them separate as just an instrument without the sequencer. You don't have to use the sequencer on that if you want to just use them as an instrument. All right, cool. So that's Opal. Let me show you. There's Reverb. This is called ROM. Now, ROM is ROMB, and it is a reverb with a tail, a high cut, etc. It's free. So you can grab that one if you want to get something to start with, just to test out their products to see if you like them. Then there is Load, which they gave out for free. It's gonna switch here because Load is an instrument. It's not it's a bass. So let me show you. So it's an FM bass. You can. So it's got a little sub, a little DK. Little detune right there. Load, LODE. That one is free too. So the bass is free. That ROM is free. This is the new one one of the new ones I got, which is Galanta, I want to say. And Galanta is and what's cool too is if you look over here, they put, this is where the information shows up on stuff. So if you touch something, see, it'll tell you the Galanta instrument. So on some of the kit stuff, I noticed they tell you what it actually does. Like these are kind of self-explanatory. Here's a modulator, here's your carrier, and you can mix them together or not. So this is a stereo mode. See this one, how you touch it and it tells you over here, that's the stereo mode. So it enables the stereo mode of the modulator, the oscillator, and it introduces a second phase. So when they're together, you have a glide, your volume, how many voices, and you can. This has to do with your detune and your the amount of unison, detuned, and semitone stuff. The ratio of it. So it tells you everything over here for the most part. Sorry if that's too loud. I think this thing is pumping sound, so I'll probably need to turn their volume down here. I love this one. I ain't gonna lie, this is one of my favorites. It's definitely top. Cheryl is probably my favorite one for FM Sense. This is definitely right number 2, and then I'll get to the new stuff. That it's all new to me. Some of the stuff is new to me because I didn't have it, right? But I just got these. So okay, so that's that one, and this is just kind of an introduction so you can see what they look like. This is another one called Doublet, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a instrument. I think it's like, it feels like it's like Galanta with 2 versions of it or something. But I know it has the same. It has a modulator and a carrier, but I think they give you 2 modulators in this one. So it's like having, and I know you can get real crazy with some of this. You get a filter in this one too, which is kind of good. So you can, and you get some LFOs, which is cool. Of course, the voicings and different things that you can put the unison on. I'm probably going to use some randomization tools for this one too, to see if I can get some random sounds, because I like that kind of stuff. And then this one you can change it to whatever, to affect whatever you want, which is the slope, right? So you have the slope can be affected. So anyway, this one's really fun. It's definitely one I got to get used to though, because it's got more controls on it than the others, and I get a little confused because I'm not a huge synth person. But for some reason, their stuff just, I don't know if it's the way it looks on the eyes or whatever, but it just really makes me want to use it just because of how it looks. I call it almost like a baby of like if you like the teenage engineering type stuff, but then you like the Elektron look too. It's kind of like a blend of both of those, which is pretty fascinating for me at least. All right, let me show you Kit. Kit is amazing. So Kit literally is a kit in its own way. It's got one called Box, which is pretty much, here I'll show you let me delete some of these tracks. So here's Pop. Pop is like a pluck, right? Let me turn it on, hold on. It seems like it's a pluck. I keep saying it's a pluck, and it might not be, but, and you can adjust the tunings and all that stuff, but it feels like it's a pluck, depending on how it's sitting on the track. And all these 8 knobs down here are adjustable. It's probably not a pluck at all, and I'm sitting there saying that, but I don't know what I enjoy it so much. I can't describe. This one's got that controls the timbre of the harmonic modulation. And then you can adjust this one up and down. This one controls the amplitude of the modulation sustain. And by the way, you can read everything over here. Amp decay. This is amp sustain. This is the pop right here. I mean the amp release rather. The name is pop. And this is the amp attack. So you have attack, decay, sustain, and release. This is your ADSR right here at the bottom. Modulation sustain, modulator ear time, spectra, and then your harmonics. And so I think of it as a pluck, but they actually have one called pluck right here. I'm going to show you that one now. I'm jumping all over the place just because this was what I'm doing. But here's pluck. So and pluck has a dampening, a decay, and then a timbre, and it actually sounds really good too, especially if you add that reverb, which we'll talk about a little later. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that for right now. So that's pluck, and by the way, pluck is free. Pop, box, eco, and if you look up here, dot, hue, jog, and lux all come in a kit together. So it's one price for all of them. And so box is is a reverb. So I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna grab Lux, so you can see Lux. So here's Lux. Wait, let me turn off box so you can hear it by itself. This one just excited. Look at this, how crazy this looks too when you start moving stuff. Look at that, it looks weird. Like you create these. I was looking at it, I thought it was a spider at first. It tells you what this is. This is your tonal shift, tonal alignment, right? And then you can read into it more as you go on. This is the contour, so you can contour, shape it. Let me get this mouse, so it's a little bit easier with the mouse than using the trackpad for this. Okay, so you can do that. Down here you have your attack, decay. They have a sweep, and then you have a sweep time, like how much time it takes to sweep. So. This is one of my favorites. It'd be playing without me. It's so cool. I don't get that, but it does. It'd be playing. It seriously be. Probably has something to do with the way I'm adjusting the time. So I hit a note, and look how long this thing is just like sustaining. I'm not even holding anything. You can't see it, but the amp attack. I'm just gonna put the amp attack here. So if you bring the attack up, you know what you're gonna get. It's gonna. And then you can do some different tunings in here, how you sync the voices. And then, okay, so let's get to box, right? I'm going to use I'm not going to use Lux to do the box or with that one. I like it, but sometimes it'll, just put pop back in there. Okay, pop's a little easier for me. Sometimes Lux, I can't tell what I'm doing, so it'll go way out left field. It's wild, but I like it for some reason. All right, box. So box is a reverb. I know that for a fact. And so here's you have a dry wet mix, the space size, the reverb feedback, and the warble intensity, which is kind of cool. You have a reverb balance, so you can balance between space and reflection tones of the reverb. Then you have the reflection size, then the reverb's tone, and then you have a crunch amount, so you can actually add some crunch to your tone. So let's play with it a little bit so you can hear what it sounds like. That's your warble. That is so cool. I don't know why I like that. your tone, whether you want it darker. I'm gonna do darker. How much crunch do you want in it? Man, this dang box is something else, yo. I'm not lying to you. It's my favorite. Out the whole kit thing, I love all of them, but something about this box is special. Pause. But anyway, moving on. it is special. All right, Ego. Ego is, as far as I know, Ego is it's like a reverb or delay. I'm gonna call it a delay for. It's not a delay, a reverb. It is an actual delay. I'm gonna turn box off so you can hear this one. So dry, I believe, is all the way to the left. So it's no effect when you bring it all the way to the right. That's your. It's a delay. So it's good to have a little bit of both. This is your delay time. It's an interesting delay. This is how much feedback you want on it. This is your blur. So blur is interesting. It's the amount of diffusion in the delay. So I don't know why I think of diffusion like a shimmer and stuff of that nature, but yeah. This is your warble intensity. So you don't want it to warble too much. This is your stereo spread. So it's more like you can get, if you put it on the max, you get like a ping pong effect. Let's see. And I don't know how much of that is affected by other things, so I'm going to put that. Oh, Lord. This is the tone. This is the grain shift. So the grain shift shifts the pitch of the delay in semitones using a strange and grainy pitch shifting method. Pretty crazy. Let's see. That's pretty cool though, I ain't gonna lie. Now that's without the reverb, so let's put the reverb on it. Gets real wild. Oh my goodness. So that's just 3 of them put together. I mean, you can add other stuff. Here's hue. Let's look at that. So this is like a filter, a special filter. So you have like a based envelope time, then you have your envelope depth, you have the width envelope time, and then you have the I said that already. Then you have the base trig fill. Then this is like a base pattern length. So I guess somehow this controls the length of the trigger pattern and affects the distribution of the triggers determined by the filter. So it's real in depth. You guys need to try these things, and they're not super expensive either. For this whole kit, it's like $29 for the whole kit. So it's worth having. And just use Forbes.fm website to get this stuff, by the way. Here's the pattern length, and then you can adjust with using these controls. You got a Q factor here, so the higher the value, the more it'll start to resonate a little more. Same thing over here. another Q. This is for the width portion of it. And then this side is for the bass portion of it. Down here, you got your bass frequency. So you can see, you can move it. It gets real wild. I'm gonna show you this in a second. And then over here, you have the width frequency. So bass, width, bass, width. Bass Q, width Q, bass, frequency, width, frequency. Now let's play with it a little bit. Almost like it takes some of the highs out a little bit. You can move this around too. So I'm literally just grabbing in the center and moving it around. So now let's put in the box with the echo. Wow. So yeah, I could sit here all day playing with this. Is crazy. But anyway, check this out for sure. And then that's not even including if I put some automation on it and try to automate some of this stuff. You can get it moving while you're playing it, right? That's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about more. I'm gonna get rid of this one, and we'll get rid of ego, and let's look at we already looked at Lux, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna look at jog for a second here. Let me grab jog. So jog, I do not understand. I'll be 100% clear with you on this. 1 second while I close this door. That way I can talk and not disturb anyone else. So I do not understand jog very well. It's one of the ones that's probably the most confusing for me. I do see that they tell you everything, like the note input. This is how you record. I know the pencil is the record. And I know you're recording MIDI. I feel like it's very similar to if you've ever used an OP1 and you know the sequencer in there with what's it called? The oh gosh, I can't think of the name right now, but the sequencer where you plug a MIDI note per number, right? That's kind of what it is. And then this control is to direct the feedback, so you can tell it to go forward or play forward and then reverse. And then here's the length of the playback. And then this is the clock division. So it says a division of 1 will play the sequence back in the current BPM, and any higher number will divide the clock by that factor. So you have to read all this stuff. This is a pattern field. It contains the density of the pattern by using a Euclidean algorithm. The playback pattern can be used to introduce rhythmic variations from your program. So you can see here I'm moving it and it's changing the different pattern length over here. So if I hit the pencil, see how it's jumping like that? So if I go, and then I think you have to hit, wait, do it again. Then if you hit play, so you can slow down the pattern, how fast it's playing. So if you go up, the higher you go up, it divides that number. So it very much is like the OP1 thing where you can create melodies and stuff like that using it. This is why I say this stuff reminds me of like TE mixed in with Elektron vibes, because the Opal is definitely a creation that's vibing with the Digitac, which I tried years ago when they first came out, and I did like lost. That thing was so deep, I got lost, and it's probably the easier ones of them all to learn. But anywho, that was before I had the ability to sit down and figure it out. But anyway, so this is kind of cool, a little sequencer thing if you want to use it. Let's go. Which one do we not do? Dot. Now dot is different too. I'm gonna pull dot. I figured out jog is pretty good. So dot reminds me of the Euclidean algorithm thing that is also in well, if you want to know what I mean, here I'll show you. So let's say you have a MIDI track right here with some keys on it. I'm just going to make up something real quick in case you didn't know about this in here. And you know how like you can, now they have all the, here, see Euclidean right here. Max for Live. So if you have this, you see you can rotate, hit this, and it'll fill your patterns with all these patterns in here and generate them. And you can tell it how many steps, the density you want, the divisions you want. You can even go and tell it the voices you want, which is pretty cool. And then when you play it, it's going to play whatever, you know, you have to that. So that's Euclidean really quickly in a nutshell without getting in depth on it, which is pretty cool for a lot of people like that. Go back to pop. All right, so dots, I think is a similar thing. See, it's playing whatever. Here's a 16. See, when I move this down, it changes how many dots are in there. And this is the notes. And you have two rings playing here. So the inner ring and the outer ring. And I think it goes to 32, yeah. So up to 32. So you can create these cool rhythms. So it's, in my opinion, it seems like it's their Euclidean, it's fours Euclidean is called dot, right? And you can see how that could be very useful if you like to make generative music. And ain't nothing wrong with that. If it's definitely got its goods and bads and etc. depending on what style of music you're going for. Now, me personally, I may use it every now and then just to inspire something, but I'm probably going to be using Harmony Bloom when it comes to that type of stuff because I like it better as far as the abilities. But this is kind of cool, and I can't knock it. It's definitely fun, and it tells you right here to what each thing does. So if you're confused on it, looking at it, pattern fill, see, it tells you everything right in this. So you just leave information. Now, Harmony works on doesn't have to be, it works on PC as well as Mac. These are only for Ableton Live users, so they're built on the Ableton system. So if you don't have Ableton, unfortunately, this is not going to work for you. But you also have to have Max for Live. If you don't have Max for Live, you can't use these. So that's something to keep in mind. I know it sucks for a lot of people because they want they like this stuff and want to be able to use it. But I'm just gonna say Max for Live is the best, man. If you really into this vibe, there's so many people making cool products out there like this that you can use, but you have to be willing to invest in live and go that route. And for me, it's worth it. But I mean, for everybody else, it's kind of, you got to figure out what works for you. Okay, I've shown Cheryl in the past. I say Cheryl because I don't know if that's what it's pronounced really called, but I've shown it in the past. So I don't have it, unfortunately. I'm not gonna have you watch me go in here and, oh wait, here it is right here in my face. Never mind. Let's do it then. Well, it says that I have it right here, but this is the install. Where's the actual device? Will it go in there? Nope. I don't think so. That's the folder, but it's not the device. I'll have to load that one in. For some reason, it's not loading up. It's just showing the install, which I don't. Let me see if I do this, if it'll work. Hold on, let's do this. I'll let you guys see this. I don't care. Let's go here. Should be in my Ableton. Oh, that's the wrong version. We're looking for version 1.2. Weird. I know I have 1.2. I'll have to download it again. Maybe something happened. All right, never mind. I'll show you that later at another time. Again, it's one of my favorites. Opal and that one are probably the two my favorites, but Box is incredible and a must-have in my opinion when it comes down to that. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Fors.fm, Fors.fm. Check their website out. They do sales too sometimes, so if you feel like you need to wait till it goes on sale, I just say when it goes on sale, buy them all, because they all kind of together make a complete package and make it fun to use for sure. So that's it for this video. Until the next one, I'm out. Feel free to ask me questions in the comments. I usually answer almost everybody's comments, unless you are being rude or something like that, then I probably wouldn't even address you. But otherwise, I'll definitely answer any questions or tell you my thoughts or opinions. And and everything I say is a thought or opinion. If I say something is the best, it's obviously just my opinion on it. If you don't like it, no worries. All right, I'm out.